Power of two comes from you. Bay Area weather is beautiful most of the time. Rain or shine, you always have the power to prepare with the Fox 2 weather team.
I'm Mark Tamaya with your roadmap to the all-new Fox 2 weather app. Pick up your phone or tablet, visit the App Store, search KTVU Weather, and download the app. You'll find all the info you need on a scrollable screen in the palm of your hand. Plus, up-to-the-minute traffic and live streaming newscasts. Download the KTVU Fox 2 weather app and never be caught off guard again.
Sounds like they're trying to tell you something.
Watch Fox 2 News.
That's the Bay Area's favorite news is right here on KTVU Plus, weeknights at 7.
But don't take our word for it.
Watch Fox 2 News at 7.
It's another way the power of two is working for you.
So come on, do we have a deal?
Yeah.
You just blew my mind.
Watch Fox 2 News at 7 live with KTVU's Alex Savage and Heather Holmes.
Every weeknight on KTVU Plus and experience the power of two.
The suspect in a deadly hit-and-run crash in Oakland will soon be brought back here to the Bay Area after being arrested in Virginia. U.S. Marshals took 27-year-old Ray Snoke Allen into custody. Allen allegedly killed a 6-year-old boy and his mother in that crash. The charges in this case include felony hit-and-run. Police say Allen was driving the car that hit Alma Vasquez and 6-year-old Angel Garcia as they were crossing 26th Avenue at Foothill Boulevard back on April 13th. The boy's 20-year-old uncle also was critically injured in that crash. The Mercedes that police say Allen was driving at the time of the crash was later found abandoned in Oakland. For more on this case, we're joined now by KTVU legal analyst Michael Cardoza. Good to have you with us today. This one is just heartbreaking all around.
And keep in mind, they were in the crosswalk when he hit them.
I know. That's the worst part about it. Thankfully, you know, a small bit of, good news for the family to hang on. They have found the suspected driver in Virginia, arrested by the marshals on the other side of the country. What is the process going to be like to get him back here to the Bay Area to face justice? Well,
the government goes into court and asks for an extradition. The accused, Mr. Allen, can either agree to it or not agree to it. If he doesn't agree to it, then they have a court hearing. And I can guarantee you in a case like this, he'll be extradited to California. So most advice from defense attorneys to their client is just waive extradition. You're just marking time here, so move on, get to California, and get your case taken care of.
All right, we talk about the charges here. Allen is facing 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence and also 2 counts of felony hit and run causing great bodily injury or death. What kind of time is he looking at behind bars if he's convicted? Well,
for manslaughter with gross negligence, the judge can sentence on each of those counts either 2 years, 4 years, or 6 years. Usually it's the midterm 4 years, and then you take a third of the midterm of the other. Then you add in the hit and runs, and that's 2, 3, 4, if I recall correctly. Then you have an enhancement of leaving the scene. He could possibly, if a judge, what we call stacks him, get a little bit over 20 years.
Okay. This is a hit and run case, and we talk about the fact that there was this horrific crash. He leaves the scene allegedly, and the car is then found abandoned. From the prosecutor's standpoint, what kind of challenges are there going to be to place him behind the wheel of that car at the time of the crash?
Well, that's the big issue. I mean, what evidence do they have? We're not privy to that. Are there cameras out there at that particular intersection? These people were in the crosswalk, and Oakland does have quite a few crime cameras, so I would think that they have it on video or some other type of evidence that puts him behind the wheel. That'll be the big issue. Once you put him behind the wheel, this case is over with, because he runs through an intersection where people are in the crosswalk. What excuse do you have for that?
Yeah. Also at the time, I was reading, at the time of this crash, Allen was actually free on bail. There were pending charges up in Humboldt County, a charge of conspiracy to commit residential burglary. How do you think, allegedly committing a crime like this while you're free on bail, does that complicate things or further add to the punishment he may face here?
It doesn't complicate things in the sense of the Humboldt County will probably defer to Alameda County and say, you take care of them.
Yeah.
You get the plea or you get the conviction in front of a jury, and then send him back to us. Or sometimes they might say, well, you're getting enough years on that, we'll just dismiss the case. If they don't feel that way, send him back to us. We'll either get a plea out of him or we will take him to trial. Then we will sentence him, and if they're going through all that trouble, then it's consecutive, meaning you add that on to whatever Alameda gives them. And one of the things, though, that I thought as I read about this case, I thought if you do a manslaughter with gross negligence, it's 2, 4, or 6 years. A loved one died. In this case, 2 people die. Sure. And I'm thinking, wow, if I take a gun and shoot someone, I get 25 to life for that. But if the weapon is the vehicle, it's 2, 4, or 6 years. At times, I think our government should take a look at that. I mean, in the gross negligence cases, meaning people are in the crosswalk, you're going 100 miles an hour, and you just blitz through and you kill 2 people.
And then allegedly leave the scene.
Well, let's assume he didn't leave the scene.
Yeah.
Let's assume he stayed. All right, so he gets 2, 4, 6 years. He gets the midterm. 4, or he gets 6, and I'm thinking, wow, there's a real difference there. Weapon is a car. The car is a weapon, and you get that little time. I know I'm a defense attorney, but I've always looked and thought, I don't get that. Take a gun, bam, 25 to life. Use a car, you get that little time, and you kill people that someone loved. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I imagine even if he is sentenced to the maximum in this case, it likely will not feel like enough of a punishment for the family of those 2 victims.
When you lose people, we used to, when I was a prosecutor and even as defense, the families want that revenge. It's never as good as you think it's going to feel. You know, I mean, like the great case to compare to would be the ghost ship trial. You know, if they get convictions in that, after it's all over, the family is going to sort of lean back and go, you know, okay, they may go for more time if they're convicted, but I don't feel any better about it. There's someone I love that I lost.
All right, we have to leave the conversation
You got
there.
it.
Always a pleasure. Michael Cardozo,
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you too. Heather?
Thank you, gentlemen. New details today in that ongoing search for a missing University of Utah student from Southern California. Police say they have searched the home now of a person of interest. Fox reporter Matt Napolitano has more on the investigation.
Salt Lake City police serve a search warrant overnight at a home in the Rose Park neighborhood that may be connected to the 23-year-old nursing student from Southern California who disappeared near this location.
We are treating this with a high degree of care and caution, as it is an open case, and given the nature of this case, we just don't want to make any mistakes.
Police say Mackenzie Lewick was last seen at Hatch Park in North Salt Lake City in the pre-dawn hours on June 17th. She reportedly left the park in an unknown person's car and has not been heard from or seen since.
We've had the canines here. They've been in the backyard. They've been looking in the car. I told my husband, this is bigger than just a dope deal or something. I go, something's really bad has happened over there.
Police say there's no evidence of foul play, but Lewick has missed classes at the University of Utah and a flight back to California for a friend's wedding. Lewick took a lift to the park from Salt Lake International Airport at 1:30 in the morning 10 days ago. Police say the Lyft driver and the rideshare company are cooperating in the investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Salt Lake City Police.
We will continue to follow leads until this is resolved. We'll have more information for you as we find what we find inside this house here.
Police set up a mobile command center and searched the home for hours. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
The growing number of American deaths in the Dominican Republic is now prompting many travelers to cancel their summer trips to that Caribbean country, and that is dealing a massive blow to its tourism industry. At least 10 American tourists have recently died while in the Dominican Republic. The country's tourism minister says many of those victims died from natural causes. The FBI has gotten involved here to assist local investigators in some of the other cases. Figures show that bookings to the Dominican Republic this month are down almost 75% compared to the same time last year. Meantime, bookings to the Bahamas, Aruba, and Jamaica are all up. The number of canceled trips to the Dominican Republic is up 51%. U.S. travelers headed to that country say they are keenly aware of the situation.
I am concerned, and what I'm doing is just taking measures to make sure that I'm safe. We brought our own alcohol.
Tourism is that country's biggest industry, employing more than 300,000 people.
Tweets from President Trump and other politicians could be slapped with warning labels. We'll discuss Twitter's new policy with our tech expert.
Another unseasonably mild day around the Bay Area. Breezy for some. The temperatures bottoming out today before we begin to rebound in time for the weekend. I have details coming up.
When you're up, we're on.
We'll recap tonight's Democratic presidential debate and update you on Joe Biden's Bay Area visit. Complete coverage tomorrow as the race to 2020 heats up.
Plus, the 9 is packing up and leaving the studio behind. We're headed off to American Canyon. Do not miss our next Zip trip. A full hour of coverage tomorrow, starting at 9.
Tomorrow, wake up with Mornings on 2.
Hello, Gassia here from Fox 2. When you watch KTVU in the morning,
you'll find that Mornings on 2 is giving you the power to start your day.
We have some breaking news across the Bay in San Francisco there.
You wake up every day in the Bay Area, and so do we. We're live and local all morning long.
So go ahead, grab your remote and turn your morning over to us.
See how KTVU Fox 2 can empower you.
Start your day with Mornings on 2 on KTVU Fox 2, 4 to 10 a.m.
Fox 2 brings you powerful Bay Area women in soccer.
I started playing soccer when I was 5 years old. For people who say that soccer is just for boys, I'm living proof that that's not true. Being able to make an Olympic and World Cup roster was really a dream come true. There are so many messages out there telling girls can't, don't, won't, shouldn't. You can be greater than you even thought you could be.
The Power of 2 celebrates the power of women's soccer.
The FIFA Women's World Cup on KTVU Fox 2. The Bay Area belongs to all of us. The power of 2 belongs to you.
This is a story that you'll see only on 2.
It's the power of feeling connected.
KTVU's Deborah Villalone shows us what's happening.
And empowered.
2 Investigates is giving you a rare look
the
inside.
Power of being prepared.
That could get us a flash flood advisory.
And always knowing the score.
A game for the ages.
The 10 and 11 o'clock news on KTVU Fox 2. The power of 2 comes from you.
Powerful girls become powerful women.
I'm Sophie Jones. I play attacking mid for the San Jose Earthquakes Girls Academy. Ever since I've been young, I just love to play soccer. I just loved having the ball by my feet. 2023 World Cup was definitely a goal of mine. My favorite player on the U.S. Women's National Team would be Megan Rapinoe or Julie Ertz. Megan Rapinoe is just so creative and she's so explosive and fun to watch. It's important for me to keep on playing because how much joy it brings me, and I honestly just want to keep on playing as long as I possibly can.
The Power of 2 celebrates the power of women's soccer.
The FIFA Women's World Cup on KTVU Fox 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
This summer, Fox is on fire.
'Cause I'm the hottest that you ever seen.
With sizzling favorites.
Do you like it? We get down like this.
Well, hallelujah!
Take a look at me.
And red hot premieres.
This is a phenomenon.
Get some!
Get some!
Only Fox is crazy enough to give away
$23 million.
From executive producer Justin Timberlake, Dax Shepard hosts.
Come on!
Spin the Wheel. Then, from the creator of Law & Order.
Real heroes.
All units subject to custody.
Real emergencies.
First Responders Live. Then, Fred Savage hosts a show that defies description.
What just happened?
Plus, the iconic hit returns. 90210. Get ready to feel the heat.
It all starts this summer, right here on Fox.
'Cause I'm the hottest that you ever seen.
Political figures, including President Trump, could soon have a warning label attached to their tweets. Twitter announced today that tweets that are of public interest but that violate the platform's rules will include a warning message. Now, users will then have to tap past that message to actually see the post. For more on this new feature, let's bring in KTVU tech expert Ryan Eldridge of Nerds on Call. Ryan, we've talked about this before. Twitter has been criticized for the way it handles certain tweets, including some by political leaders, including some from President Trump. Do you think this is an appropriate solution?
I think it's a pretty good solution. They've been criticized for their just sort of uneven application of their own policies, right? If I'm on Twitter and I say something hateful or abusive or some sort of harassment or ask somebody to do something violent towards someone else, Twitter is going to flag that and pull that down no matter what. But if somebody who is a political leader, who's somebody of great influence, says something like that, it's newsworthy. And it also violates their policy. So Twitter's been in this situation where, like, should we take it down? Should we not? I mean, there are things that it's not just Trump. There are political leaders in unstable countries that say things in tweets that may cause violence or legitimize violence towards other people. And so it's not applying just to Trump, though here in America, it's kind of hard to see beyond the Trump binoculars and say, hey, this is probably, it's going to affect him quite a bit.
Yeah. Let's start, though, with the fact that these tweets will not be deleted, Ryan. Instead, this message will appear. I'm just going to read it. It will say, the Twitter rules about abusive behavior apply to this tweet. However, Twitter has determined it may be in the public's interest for the tweet to remain available. So, again, people would have to scroll past that message to actually see the tweet. Some people are going to wonder, how is an abusive tweet, a harmful tweet, going to be determined?
Well, there's going to be a select group of people at Twitter from different departments that are going to come together, and they will review tweets specifically from political leaders with over 100,000 followers. And so they'll determine whether or not these tweets should be labeled. And along with the labeling, they're also taken away from the main algorithm for ranking. They are also taken away from the live tweets and also from the historical tweets. So it's not just a matter of there's going to be a label on it. It's also going to be sort of hidden a little bit. Yeah. You might have to dig a little bit to get to these tweets.
A little buried, therefore it would get less views. Let's go back to kind of the heart of this and explain a little bit more about what type of tweet will be flagged.
So it's anything that has to do with abuse, harassment, violent threats, bullying, hateful contact, or hateful conduct. So for an example, I'll just use him just because he's the one that we're talking about, Trump. He has threatened nuclear war against North Korea. That would technically be something that would get a warning label. He shared a video of a violent act against another person who had a CNN logo on their head. He called a former aide who happened to be African-American a dog. He's done things that again, you and I, if you and I had done this on Twitter, would likely have been taken down, but Twitter has left these up. And this isn't going to happen retroactively. So they're not going to go through everybody's tweets, and people can't flag old tweets and say, well, this should be taken down because of the violation of policy. It's only going to be for tweets as of now and going forward.
Yeah, future tweets. And again, only applies to political leaders and candidates who have more than 100,000 followers. We'll see what takes place, see if this perhaps changes President Trump's tweeting habit. We'll have to wait and see. Ryan, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get you outside right now.